This week in the World on Water, the New York Yacht Club's Race Week in Newport. The RC44 Portsmouth Club Fleet Racing Day 4 Finals. Brit Phil Sharp in the Transat Quebec St Malo. Michael Coxon of North Sails gives a preview of the 2016 Land Rover Sydney to Gold Coast race. The IKA Kite Foil Gold Cup in Italy Day 2. And Alchemist hits a shipwreck in the Round the Island race and sinks.
Friday's weather started like a mill pond across Newport Harbour. But Race Week at Newport, presented by Rolex, had other ideas. The sea breeze built steadily throughout the day, starting with a light 5 to 6 knots of breeze and finishing with a healthy 10 or 11. The big boats in IRC1 showed off all their moves on the harbour course for some stadium sailing between Clingstone and Rose Island. Tomorrow, the final day, results will be decided, watches will be handed out. Check here for more updates and some live Facebook tomorrow morning.
Going into the final day of the 2016 RC44 Portsmouth Cup, the dock was buzzing with activity as teams prepared to make their final offensive on the leaderboard. There was a lot of racing left, with 7 boats within just 7 points of the podium. For Katusha, their preparation paid off. In a weak, fickle breeze, they were last at one point in today's only race, but through good crew work and outstanding calls from American tactician Andy Horton, they fought back to take the win. Ashore, there were huge celebrations. This was Katusha's first podium finish since Vladimir Sokolov and Alexander Novoselov joined the class 2.5 years ago.
And I should say, since I started 2.5 years ago, it's first time on the podium. It's a third place, but it's a great success for me and for the team. The setup of the team, the makeup of the team is fantastic. It works pretty well, no mistakes, and I'm very happy.
With a 12-point lead going into this race, Vladimir Prosikhin's Team Nika had the RC44 Portsmouth Cup all but sewn up. Their main aim was to sail a clean race, but after leading most of the way around the course, they crossed the finish line second behind Katusha. Ultimately, Team Nika won the RC44 Portsmouth Cup by 14 points, the biggest margin in the class's recent history. Team Nika were the RC44 Fleet Racing champions in 2015 and the boat to beat. However, showing just how competitive racing in the class is at present, the RC44 Portsmouth Cup marks the team's first win this season. A second place in Portsmouth was enough for Team Aqua of event host Chris Bake to regain the class's coveted Golden Wheels, now with a 2-point lead over Igor Lars' Team Siref in the 2016 season championship.
Yeah, it was a really tough week actually. I think we had a lot of challenging conditions out there, wind and current, some weather, but all in all, I think we got a few good races in, and I think Listen, Nika sailed a really good series, so they deserve to win, I think.
5 days of extremely challenging racing saw 7 of the 11 participants win races. The awards ceremony held at the Land Rover BAR America's Cup team base celebrated what was an intense week, with prizes presented to huge applause. The Portsmouth event once again confirmed the elite level of competition in the class, which will next do battle at the RC44 Qashqai Cup in mid-September.
Morning everyone on day 6 of the Quebec Saint Malo. Well, the roller coaster ride has begun. We're out into the Atlantic at last. We're east of Newfoundland and there's an awesome downwind blast for us the next couple of days. So here we are doing about 16, 17, 18 knots constant with a spinnaker up, and it's pretty fast going and really exciting. Milan's there doing a good job on the helm. And there we are, singing about 17 and a half knots.
It's a week out from the Sydney to Gold Coast race, and we're talking to Michael Coxon at North Sails in the loft in Sydney at Mona Vale, and we're going to talk about the boats and what's going on in the race. Now, up the front it's going to be a good one because Wild Oats is there and also the ex-Ragamuffin. So what's your predictions here there, Mike?
Well, I think it'll be really interesting. I did this race last year on Perpetual Loyal, and which we got line honours on, but we're the only maxi yacht. Second was Blackjack, the Volvo 70. So I think this year having the 200 footers will be a really interesting race. The last time that happened, I think, was about 4 years ago, where Wild Oats and Perpetual, in those days was Invextec Loyal, had a ding-dong battle, and there was only 9 minutes in it at the finish. Wild Oats pipped us, but there was only 9 minutes in it, so it was a fantastic race. So I think it's really interesting for the public to have the two maxis sailing, and it's sad to see that Sid's no longer campaigning, but it's great to see that the old Rags is back out on the water, and new old Rags, and that she'll be giving Oats a good run for money.
Well, it's the same crew basically, isn't it, really, on Scallywag? So.
Yeah, I believe so. So, and they did a lot of training last year, and they'll be getting better and better, and so it'll be an interesting, it'll be interesting to see how the boats perform. It's always a different race going north than it is going south in the Hobart. Generally speaking, you've got a lot more lighter airs, you've got flatter water, you can get a lot of reaching in it. So those conditions could actually suit the old Rags, or Scallywag as it's now called. Mm-hmm. But it's also a great opportunity for Oats, because she's done a lot of work to improve her reaching performance. When Comanche came out and the wider, more powerful boat came out, they realised that their weakness was going to be that power sailing. So Oats has done a lot of work with sideboards or riding boards, whatever they call them, and worked on her reaching inventory a lot. So it'll be a good test for both boats, and give us a bit of a lead into the Hobart.
New sails?
We haven't put new sails on for this race for Oaks, but we've got doing a new mainsail for Hobart, and there's another specialist sail we're working on for reaching, and which is a bit top secret at the moment. And also, she'll be getting a new jib. So more sails to come.
Well, behind them is the Volvo 70s. Now there's three, so I believe you're on...
Yeah, I'm on Maserati. So Maserati is been recently bought by Jim Cooney, who I only met Jim recently, a lovely man, went sailing with him, and I just asked him if he was interested in me coming along and seeing if I can give them any help, and he's kindly having me on board. The reason I did that is that Anthony Bell, who's not campaigning the Maxi this year, so basically Loyal is being parked up for a year, and so I saw Jim there as he owns both Brindabella, and he's bought Bumblebee, which he's turned into a cruising boat, and now he's bought the Maserati, which did at Hobart under the Italian flag last year.
Now, next, 9 TP52s.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? It's I think it's a credit to the Australian yachting scene and the owners that we've been able to gather that many boats down in Australia now. As a legacy of, I guess, the TP circuit. They basically keep building new boats for the TP circuit. It's a full arms race up there.
So they're only doing 12 or 13 boats up there, so we've got 9 here.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but what they do is they regularly, probably every 2 or 3 years, those owners tend to turn those boats over, because they're effectively one design sailing, and they're always looking for that small improvement. And as such, these very, very good quality boats become available, and at very reasonable prices. The only thing you've got to be a little bit careful with or be aware of, and the owners are, that they're often built for med conditions, so they need to be basically beefed up for Hobart conditions. But both in the rigs and the hull, but a lot of the boats have been converted and made strong enough for Hobart conditions.
Well, that's one of the reasons why Balance, which is the old Quest, is goes so well in this particular area. Because she was an American boat, wasn't she?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. And it's a very well sailed boat, and under different owners, it's always performed well. So I think it's a good all-round offshore boat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Mike Green on Balance, he's
very experienced.
He's been on the boat for a lot of years.
He has been on the boat for a lot of years, and he's a very experienced offshore sailor.
Indeed,
so, it's a very well campaigned boat for Clitheroe.
Matt from Yachting Australia.
Yep.
He's got Ichiban.
Yeah, Matt Allen. Matt's campaigning. He still campaigns both his 60 footer, and he's also got the 52. I think that his 52 would be regarded as the number one in Australia at the moment. He won the Port Stephens Regatta convincingly last month, and I think that he is the boat to beat there. He's a very, very, very good campaigner, and he's been doing it a long time, and has a very, very good crew.
The Perth boat that was had the problems in Hobart race, M3, she's in the race. How do you think she'll go?
I don't know a lot about her, I really can't comment because I just don't know enough about who the crew are and how they've been going. But it'll be interesting to see. I think that with that many boats, it's just going to be races within races the whole way. So,
Sean Langman is sailing RKO.
I believe Sean has just pulled out, due to a personal issue. So he won't be there. So they're just reconfiguring their crew at the moment. I've been speaking with Aaron Rowe, the owner, but it's great to see Aaron get into the TP52s. I've only recently met him. He's a very nice chap. He's young and he's enthusiastic about yachting. So I think he's going to be a great asset to the sport.
Then there's Rags with...
David
Brendan?
Witt's a great campaigner.
No, the Brendan Fisher.
Oh, the Brendan, the 52, it's great to see that boat still sailing, with the big boat being pulled out of or being sold. So it's really great to see that they're still keeping the Ragamuffin name going.
Indeed.
And they're a very solid campaigner and have been doing it for a long time.
Celestial?
Yeah, she's
there?
another.
Frantic?
She's another one that that they're all fairly new. When I say fairly new, that they're only all just starting to sail against each other. So I think that you'll find there are boats that are going to have their strengths and weaknesses, and meaning that some will be stronger in liners, some will be stronger in reaching, running, upwind. So I think what we will find out is what boats have got strengths in what conditions, but that'll be completely different when it comes to the Hobart race. Like I would say, when it blows hard in the Southport race, it normally blows hard from behind. So it tends to be, and it gets warmer as you go. So, so Southport, I think, is a really nice way to start the season, because it's an easy way to break the crews in and to give them a shakedown. But I do think the Southport race is a key race to actually prepare for your Hobart, because although it's an easier race, it actually gives you your first overnight experience for the crew for the season. And there are not a lot of overnight races thereafter to work on. So this gives you 2 or 3 nights at sea, and lets you get basically get your job list for what you've got to improve for leading into the Hobart. It doesn't take long to get round to the end of December again.
Welcome back to the magnificent beach of Hang Loose in Cesarea, Italy for the 2016 Kite Foil Gold Cup. The riders are busy preparing for the final day of qualifying, and with the leaderboard so close, getting into the finals is going to be tough. The top 10 athletes are separated by just 11 points.
Well, today is the last qualifying day. We're in groups, and then from tomorrow on we will be the best riders in one fleet. We're more riders than in any other event this year, so that's good. And yeah, obviously the level is really high. Many good riders out there, mostly the same as in the race on the Formula board. And well, it's going to be a tough fight for sure, and let's see who will take the victory.
With some pretty stormy weather and big waves for this, the second day of racing, the world's best kiteboarders not only had to fight against their opponents, but also against nature's elements. In the men, the top 2 places remained unchanged, but 7-time world champion Maxime Notcher managed to enter the podium places after a slow start on day 1. With there being just 3 girls in the silver fleet, they're all guaranteed a medal, but the colour needs to be decided during the following 2 days of racing.
It was fun, it was challenging, it was something different. It was good to race in this.
Crazy and funny.
Yes, we had a good time, a hard time, but a good time.
I had fun, I had a lot of fun. It was crazy surfing down the waves outside.
He's holding on, but BMW Oracle Racing are over.
Like everyone in France,
Two of World sailors were in shock this morning after hearing the news about Bastille Day attack in Nice.
La régate, c'est peu de choses par rapport à ça.
Yacht racing is nothing compared to that, but life must go on. We can't stop on this and give credit to the terrorists. Life must go on.
And sailors must keep doing what they do best and what they love. Damien Seguin is joining his team in Roscoff for the first time since the tour started.
I've always sailed and competed on different boats, and here is more like a bit of fresh air for me. It's great to catch up with my crew and to have a break from my preparation for the games in Rio that is quite intense and stressful. Nice to enjoy the tours, fantastic atmosphere.
After 4 qualifying races in light and flaky conditions, the grand final gathered the 6 best teams of the day. And first on the finish line is Crédit Mutuel again, on his home waters.
The wind was shifty and light, and we had to adapt, be strong on the trims and on the tactics, take a few risks, and we did it well. It was a good day for us.
The Muirford RNLI inshore lifeboat crew shot this dramatic footage of the sinking of Alchemist during the JP Morgan Asset Management Round the Island race recently. Alchemist is a 1977 Dubai half-tonner built in Cowes. It is owned by the Commodore of the Island Sailing Club, who were the organisers of the Round the Island race. Commodore Mark Winter was not on board at the time. Alchemist sank in 17 metres of water at the Needles in strong winds and strong tide.
Get the pump on there if you can. Hey, I can't stay here. We get a line on it, we'll tow it backwards and it may keep it afloat. We're going to try and get a line and tow it that way, stop it going bow down. Oh, it's not going to work, I think it's going. It's going. It's going, come on off.
As you can see, the 2 crew got off safely. Good save on the pump, mate. You're right.